Welcome back to another video. It's 8:05 a.m. on Tuesday the 22nd. Welcome to fall. It's officially fall since yesterday, actually. And if you're not in a super moderate area, you're going to enjoy a nice 4 seasons. This is one of my favorite seasons. Really looking forward to winter this year, though. The stock markets are all down that I'm checking here, which you can't see on my phone. The S&P 500 is down, the NASDAQ is down, and the Dow Jones is down. In my personal portfolio, I am down about 2% across everything. But yesterday I focused a little bit on how the US was lagging in regards to using cryptocurrency or blockchain technology. And then I saw this today, and I thought I had to cover it because this goes against what I was saying yesterday. It looks like the US Space Force has enlisted a blockchain firm to deploy hack-proof data defenses. The service branch protecting U.S. interests outside the stratosphere may use blockchain to render its computer systems on Earth and in space unhackable. Last week, Zage Security won a contract from the U.S. Space Force to develop and roll out a blockchain-based data protection system across its networks. Called the Zage Security Fabric, the blockchain verifies data and protects the network from third-party intervention so confidential data from satellites to Earth isn't intercepted en route. It also ensures security remains consistent across the entire USSF network, preventing hackers and other malicious entities from identifying and exploiting any weak spots. Per a release, Zage's CEO Duncan Greatwood said blockchain allowed USSF to ensure effective domain resilience across all assets and data elements on its network. Zage inked a similar agreement with the United States Air Force last December, which wanted to evaluate the Security Fabric platform. I mean, as far as I know, this isn't really that big of a deal. The U.S. Space Force, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, though they really do advertise and tell us that they are the sixth branch of our military, our latest branch, everything they have online seems to be under the Air Force. Like, I remember when the Space Force first came out, I said, "Ooh, maybe they need recruiters, right? Because I'm a recruiter, and maybe it would be easy to take, a 10-year experienced recruiting career and just transition right into some kind of cool position in the Space Force and start bringing people into it." And of course, the careers page for the Space Force was on the Air Force's website, which kind of told me everything was still under the Air Force. And so if they signed a deal with the Air Force last year, I don't even know if this is that big of a deal. But we'll see. I mean, I did make kind of a case yesterday that China and Iran and a number of other countries were moving ahead with some type of adoption of the technology or certain cryptocurrencies, while America lagged behind, no regulation, unclear tax policy, et cetera, et cetera. But it's good to see the Air Force and the Space Force have basically given the go-ahead on that. Over here, I saw this. U.S. banks can hold reserves backing crypto stablecoins. So this is good news for stablecoins. Personally, I don't hold any stablecoins. If you don't know, a stablecoin, for example, like Tether or USDC, are coins that mimic and are like exclusively tied to the US dollar, for example. There are others that are tied to other fiat currencies, but for me, I'm in the US, so I'm always thinking about Tether, which is always pegged to the US dollar and more or less always $1. That is the price of it. If it goes up and it goes down, it can, but only by maybe a fraction of a penny. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier than potentially cashing out. Like, a lot of people will tether instead of watching one of their favorite coins that they're bought into go up or go down or whatever. They'll buy and tether as a place to kind of like secure their holdings, as opposed to cashing out. If the difference between going to USDT Tether versus actual USD is a lot. I mean, there's like tax implications. I mean, you're putting money back in your bank account. So that's my thing about stablecoins. So let's read this article. In a fundamentally important development for the cryptocurrency industry, the U.S. Office of the Comptroller of the Currency said today that national banks and federal savings associations are legally allowed to hold the currency reserves that back stablecoins. Interesting. So not the stablecoins themselves. Stablecoin reserves can now be held by U.S. banks. For the uninitiated, stablecoins are specialized cryptos pegged on a 1-to-1 ratio with a fiat currency, This is what I was just telling you guys. Most popularly, the US dollar that offer investors and traders with an easy fiat on-ramp to the crypto market. Examples include Circle, Tether, and even crypto exchange-backed currencies like Binance USD. So far, centralized bodies like Custodian, BitGo, and Tether Foundation were trusted to hold the reserves they claimed, meaning if they were $1 billion in USDT issued, the Tether Foundation was trusted to actually hold $1 billion in a bank account somewhere. However, this approach created controversies in the broader crypto market, and understandably so. I do remember that back in 2017. But as per the OCC announcement, such reserves can now be stored with Custodian and recognized U.S. banks, a move that garners could garner trust among crypto market participants, although an ironic move considering the anti-bank ethos of cryptocurrencies. National banks and federal savings associations currently engage in stablecoin-related activities involving billions of dollars each day, said acting comptroller of the currency Brian P. Brooks. He added, "This opinion provides greater regulatory certainty for banks within the federal banking system to provide those client services in a safe and sound manner." Stablecoin growth booming. In just the past 6 months, 2020, demand for digital dollar stablecoins has surged, with stablecoins such as the USDC issued by U.S. firm Circle growing just over 400 million in circulation, over 2.3 billion today, representing nearly 500% of growth year to date. Meanwhile, in a statement shared with Crypto Slate, Circle said that USDC has supported over 130 billion in transactions on public blockchains and is already widely adopted and supported by hundreds of companies in the digital asset and blockchain ecosystem. It added, with this clarity from the U.S. Treasury Department around the standards for the banks to hold reserves on behalf of stablecoin issuers, businesses of all sizes, fintech firms, and banks can have more confidence in building on this innovation while ensuring that the guardrails and risk management expected from the U.S. banking system can be applied to this new age of internet money. But were banks really the answer for building trust in the reserves backing stablecoins? Probably. I hate to say it. We want this stuff to go mainstream, and that means the banks right now. This is an interesting article. So it's a good sign for stablecoins and their legitimacy, which is good for the cryptocurrency market as a whole. And if we look at the prices, a lot of things came down pretty sharply recently, maybe in the last 10 hours or so, 5 hours. How you look at that? It's kind of just everything's a little bit all over the place. Bitcoin's at 10,400. I mean, that's down pretty significantly, right? You can see these sharp drop-offs on a lot of these coins. They all follow a pattern, more or less. Wow. Just looking at all these. Okay, and then gold. Not doing so hot. I'm glad I didn't buy yesterday. I'm going to wait a few more days. If this keeps going, I'm definitely going to buy some more silver. Let's see. Gold prices are holding firm as U.S. existing home sales pace race to 14-year high. The gold market is struggling to hold on to U.S. consumers. The gold market is struggling to hold on as U.S. consumers bought existing homes at the fastest pace in 14 years. This is not actually written right. Tuesday, the National Association of Realtors said that the existing home sales in August rose 2.4% to seasonally adjusted annual rate of 6 million homes. Is that 6? Why did they put .00? The report noted that sales of existing homes hit their highest level since December 2006. However, the data slightly missed expectations. According to consensus forecasts, economists were expected to see a sales rate of 6.05. Home sales continue to amaze, and there are plenty of buyers in the pipeline ready to enter the market. Further gains in sales are likely for the remainder of the year, with mortgage rates hovering around 3%. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm going to stop reading and whatever. Like, we're in a situation where we just moved to a brand new city in a different state, and we're super happy here. But our plan, was to not buy, and we didn't. We rented. And as soon as we found the right people to rent, we literally signed a lease within 1 hour of meeting them. We're here now. We're happy. It's so nice to be out of California. But, we keep looking at the housing prices because, we told ourselves, next year, if we're still happy here, it's time to buy a house. We have another kid coming. But the prices keep going up, and it's like, oh, did we just miss the boat? Should we have just, bit the bullet and bought a house here without having lived here first, etc. And I'm still thinking there's got to be some kind of correction. The thing is, they're not going to raise rates for 3 years. They've basically said they're just going to keep printing money and keep interest rates low for 3 years until 2023, I believe, is what the Fed said. So we'll see about next year. But I'm waiting for this correction to come. I'm really hoping it comes. We'll see. But the housing market is continuously going up. I can definitely verify that as someone who's been looking locally. Anyway, good update, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.